Welcome to the Princess Power Hour, where we show you how to go from pauper to powerful by transforming your health, your wealth, and your relationships. Here's the princess of podcasting herself, Natalie Thomas.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to have so much fun, and we are going to be talking about prescription strength training coaching systems. And for our guest today, we have Batista Gremaud, and I'm going to read you more about her in just a minute. And first, as always, I'm going to tell you about our lip color of the day. Now, the exciting thing about our lip color is typically it lasts 4 to 18 hours. I usually get about 9 hours. I didn't get quite as much today. I only got about 6. I had a greasy meal and my lips are a little bit chapped from being sick. I kind of picked at it, but this is plum. It's not as pretty as it always is, but I still love it. I love that I don't have to change my lipstick all the time or keep adding to it, and that it's not going to come off all over my food or my drinking glasses, anything like that. You can get it over at lipstickkissesandlove.com. And while you're there, you want to pick out a gloss because we put on 3 light coats of the color. We put on a coat of the gloss, and the gloss is the secret sauce that locks it all in. So even though it's not perfect today, I can still kiss it, or I can rub it, and it is still right there. So we're going to switch over, and I'm going to introduce Batista to you and tell you all about what a fabulous lady she is. She is just fascinating. She's a body design formula 7th degree master teacher in the Dr. Fitness USA protocol, helping busy women over 40 get 20% stronger in 20 minutes, look and feel 15 years younger, and achieve a pain-free life. And I can tell you that is so important. She's certified in personal training. Batista's expertise is in strength training, includes structural realignment of the spine and injury prevention. She's featured as an expert authority speaker on the International Pain Foundation. Batista is a #1 best-selling author and co-creator of the Feminine Body Design Prescription Strength Training System. She regularly writes for addiction recovery magazines and online health platforms and has appeared as a celebrity guest on numerous radio shows. She's a visionary and also certified in hands-on healing, intuitive readings, and energy clearing. Batista's longtime passion in quantum physique and metaphysical science inspires her to help people of all ages to achieve greater integration of body, mind, and spirit through the practice of strengthening the body and mind with the Body Design Formula Prescription Strength Training Coaching System. Well, girl, welcome.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Well, we're excited to have you, and I know this is such an important subject for those of us that are 40 or over, and so many of us today with computers, we lead sedentary lives. So you're talking to one girl. What do I need to do? Pretend like you're just talking to me. I'm the audience. How do you convince us to get into strength training, and what does that look like?
Well, the strength training is obviously it's a method of exercise that is done in a gym.
Okay.
With weightlifting equipment. Okay. So I know that is that is the furthest thing away from most women's mind.
Okay, I admit it.
To start going to a gym and pumping some iron. You know, most women have the vision of Arnold Schwarzenegger and big muscles and this, bulky look. And that's one of the main fear of women when they think about strength training. And I can tell you right now that things have evolved from those days to a place where there's so much research and proof, behind the benefits of strength training for women's health that we can't ignore it anymore. Okay, it's like the new thing, just as much as maybe in the 60s or in the 80s, we had Jane Fonda, we had aerobics, and then the next crave, it still is yoga. Strength training has become like really up there, like the number one, because of the amazing benefits that it has. That's beyond what has been available, up to now. So how do I convince anybody? Well, it's not, first of all, to be convinced, a person has to have the willingness and the mindset to want to improve their lives and to be open to new ideas.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the first thing, because you can never convince anybody if they're not, if they're not there in their mindset. And if the mindset is there, then there is so much proof. There's a lot of misconceptions too, because when we talk to women and we tell them about strength training, a lot of women's response is, oh, but, I'm not a gym type person. I don't like the gym. It's smelly and sweaty, and, what's all these big pieces of equipment? What am I going to do with that? And then they say, oh, I do yoga or like hiking. And so I may want to address a little bit of this. First of all, it is true. And I had the same experience when I started on this journey, because I was a professional dancer. Okay, so I was a ballet dancer. And then I had an injury and I went into flamenco dancing. So I had a career first in ballet and then in flamenco dancing. So I came from that background and that mentality of, oh no, I don't want to do weights because I'm going to get bulky. I wanted to have a lean physique. This was just not the thing. So I understand it. Okay. But, and then you go in the gym and then you see these big pieces of equipment and it's very intimidating. And I know because I was there. Okay. And I want to tell you by experience, because I walked this journey. I was the one that was like that, oh, I'm a dancer. I don't want to do this, And on top of it, when I started on this journey, I had a lot of injuries. I had from dancing. So I had, a bad shoulder, I had chronic back pain, bad knees, bad Achilles, neck, everything. I mean, I was like so many injuries from dancing, and I couldn't even lift anything, not even like a pound of anything, just going to the market and lifting grocery. It was hard, when you're in pain. So lifting weight wasn't in my consciousness, and it wasn't in the cards for me. But I was at the end of my rope. I had tried everything, all the therapies, all the acupuncture, all the chiropractic, all the massage, all the stretching, all the meditation, the positive thinking, everything. Except then I met Dr. Fitness USA, who is, the system, that the man, the brand, the method. And when I heard his conversation, it was entirely different, like something I had never heard before. The first thing he said, well, first of all, you have to learn never to do anything that's uncomfortable. And I came from a ballet background. We always do everything that's uncomfortable. It's a boot camp, right? Ballet is extremely hard. And being a professional dancer, we always push beyond our injuries, beyond the pain point. That's how I got so many injuries, right, in the first place. So when I heard that, I got really, it took me for a spin. I didn't get it, but I liked the idea.
Yeah, I can see why.
I liked the idea. And then he started talking about way beyond physical fitness, way beyond weightlifting. He was starting to say things about women are after 40, women are so much in the giving mode. They're not, they stop being able to receive. And I thought about it, and I looked at my own life, and I realized that was me. You know, give, teach, you know, take care of this, to always give, and very little room to receive. And he said things like, when that happens, it breaks down the immune system, and then you get sick and your body can't recover. So he was making points and things, philosophy and things that were very new to me, and I didn't get it, but I liked it, and I had tried everything. So I decided I need to try this, because I'm going down. I want to do this. So I hired him. And I followed the system, you know, I did everything he said to do, you know, and it was very scary, because he pushes people beyond their boundaries, but it's comfortable. I can't even explain to you the difference between never doing anything that's uncomfortable and pushing you to the point where you excel beyond what you can do, but it's not painful, but it's empowering. And I got to do things that I never even knew were possible. Like, for example, in my first session in the gym, I was leg pressing 300 pounds.
Really?
Comfortably, no pain, and that put my back into place. Within 2 weeks, I had no more back pain.
Really?
Exactly, because he does it in a way that's ergonomically safe. It's more like a massage in a way. So he kind of, you know, the weight works kind of like massaging the body, but it also realigns your spine, but it also strengthen the muscles around whatever injuries you have. So actually the injury becomes protected, and then it heals. That's what I found out when I started researching and studying. Why is this working like this? Me, who couldn't lift like a pound of anything, within 2 training sessions, I was chest pressing 25-pound dumbbells. You know? So it blew me away, and I recovered my body within weeks. I had no more pain, no more injuries.
Wow.
And I became a believer.
Well, I know that has to be appealing to a lot of people. We just really, we have pain, you know, we get older and we have pain. You know, I know that my husband is a professional jockey, and he saw a doctor the other day. He's got a tailbone pain, among many other things. And the doctor says, you need to quit riding. And my husband's like, yeah, that's going to happen, you know.
Yeah, but he needs to come on the system then, I tell you that much, because it's like I say, it just puts the body back into balance from the inside out. And it rebuilds the muscles around the injuries, you know, so it puts you back in balance, and then it rebuilds it. So then you become kind of like whole again. I can't, you know, it's hard to explain, actually.
Okay, so you were pressing 25-pound dumbbells on like your second or third time in there. How much weight do you do now? What?
Now I am about 35 pounds.
So you're not lifting heavy. You're not trying to build bulk.
No, not at all. What I'm trying to do is, at this point, I've reached, and this is also part of the system and the philosophy, is that we all have a certain weight that we need to reach to make the structural changes in the body. Okay? So once you reach that weight, you don't need more. You know what I mean? So it's not about always doing more weight. It's not at all about that. It's about reaching the right amount of weight for your body, so that you get the results that you want to get. You know, so for a woman, like we worked, a big woman not too long ago, for her weight was like 40 pounds dumbbell. She reached that. That's where she is. Me, it took me a while to get to 35, but you know, I'm really satisfied with 35. It's also a great emotional release. I want to tell you that, and that's another thing about the philosophy of the Dr. Fitness USA's protocol. It's way beyond a physical activity, but it also helps to release emotional trauma that is stored in the muscles and in the body.
Wow.
So for example, he says that, and I experienced that to be really true, is that emotional, especially women, we store a lot of the emotions in the heart area. Okay, so, and I don't know about you, but I know that to be true for me. So when you can go to the gym and you can actually chest press, whether it's dumbbells or
machine, sure.
Machine, but it always has to be comfortable. Because if you press and then the machine is not ergonomically, biomechanically appropriate, you could, you don't want to get injured. The reason why we can reach that amount of weight with this system, it is always biomechanically appropriate for the body, right? In the right angles and everything. So when you can press a certain amount of weight, and with your chest, because chest pressing, that's what it does. You work the chest. Then you release a lot of these emotional trauma in the heart. And yeah, so I found that to be totally true. Like if I'm having like, a bad day, or I got stuff that happens or whatever, and I go to the gym and I do my chest, it's like, you come back, you're just like a new person.
Wow. Yeah. Well, when you talk about storing emotional things, I had blood in my urine every time they tested it for a couple of years. And my doctor said to me, don't ignore this. He says, I know you're going to ignore it. Don't ignore it. And after, I think it was my third test of having the blood in the urine, I was in a meeting with a woman who is very gifted in some types of emotional release healing. And she said, she didn't know about this problem. She said, oh, there's something on the back right wall of your bladder. She says, oh, that's related to support. Oh, you're upset at your former husband for not providing support. She said, let's just move that out. And lo and behold, would you believe the next time I was tested, there was no blood in my urine?
You see, I believe that.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, everybody, we are going to take a quick commercial break, and we are going to be right back with Batista, and we're going to be talking about the fabulous ways that she helps women strengthen themselves, get rid of pain, and all kinds of wonderful things like that. We're going to be right back. Have you ever thought about what having your own podcast could mean for you and for your business? Well, I can tell you it's been absolutely life-changing for me, and it's the funnest thing I do in my business week. Every week, I look forward to my guests and the connections that it creates, the things that I learn from them, and the exposure that I've gotten from my businesses. So I want to encourage you, if you've thought about it, if you want to think about it, go over to www.The-Expert Podcast Academy and check out my website. I've got a new course for you, and it's fun, it's fast, it's interesting, it's simple. Sometimes people are thinking about it and they have no idea what steps to take. I walk you through all the difficult things. I make it easy for you. And over on my website, you can get a free PDF. There's a free webinar that helps you understand the benefits. So go check it out, the Expert Podcast Academy. All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate what we're talking about. Now, what I'm trying to get my head around is you have this system, and let's say I'm over here in Louisville and I've got a gym down the street. How do I participate with your system in my gym? I know you've got an answer for that.
I do. I do.
Right.
So I'll give you the semi-long answer. Okay. Okay, first of all, when I met Dr. Fitness USA, he only worked one-on-one with people and developed specific formulas for the person. That's how he did it. So the outcome and the goal is always for the person to be independent, to have the education, and to be able to do it at their own pace wherever they live. It's always been like that. But before, he's been doing this for 55 years, so he didn't have the technology and computer
55
and all this.
years.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's a long time. Did he start when he was 10?
Oh, he started when he was 15, 16. He's 17 now.
Wow.
And he doesn't look a day past 40. So
really?
It works. It
works.
My
goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, we have not established. This is him behind her, and he is now her husband. Okay, so that looks like a very good-looking man to me. So how long ago was the picture taken?
That was taken about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, no, maybe 15, because I've known him 10 years and he already had that picture. So probably 15
So he would have been
ago.
about 50, 55 when that was taken. Okay.
So he's 70, yeah, 55 about.
Okay.
But he hasn't changed much.
Okay.
Actually,
Wow,
Yeah,
you're a lucky girl.
Yes, I think so. So anyway, so to continue and answer your question, so people usually then had a consultation over the phone and whatever, and then they came and they stayed in LA for a week or 2 weeks, 10 days, learned the system, then went back to wherever they live, and then they continued through follow-ups and phone calls and whatever, because he's such a genius that if you are in the other side of the world and you call him and you say, I'm doing this exercise on this particular machine and I'm having this problem, he will exactly know how to fix it, because he knows every piece of equipment that has ever been built, and he can just, by osmosis, just tell you how to fix it, how to change the angle or whatever to do. It's mind-boggling, but that's his genius, right? That's his thing. So that's how he used to do it. Okay. However, when I came on board 10 years ago and I saw what I saw with the results I had, I became very, very fascinated with the process. And so I started researching and I picked his brain, because I wanted to know everything, how do you do it? And I always had a vision that we could make these programs available to more people through technology. Okay. And it wasn't an easy task because, it's at 6, well, he was 60 then, he was a little bit set in his ways, right? So for him to be able to think in terms of putting something online or making something more standardized, it was very, very difficult for him to think that way. So I spent 8 years picking his brain, studying the method, comparing all the program, and starting putting the similarities together. And through this long and tedious process, we were able to actually put a system online.
Okay.
That is available now, okay? And especially for the women, because I've been working more towards women health, because I know how important it is. And it's, it's important for men too, okay? Men need it too. But men, more men are more familiar with the gym and weights, and they used to do it or whatever, But for women, it's such a virgin territory for so many women, especially in our generation, that I put a lot of emphasis on the women's program. And the online women's program is amazing. Okay. I built it to be a whole year coaching system. Where you go, and it's very simple. It's by lesson plan. I built it for busy women. Everybody's busy. Nobody has time. That's the number one reason why people don't work out and whatever. It's time, And so I built it so really within putting 5 minutes a day to just listen to a video or looking at a picture or doing something, within 1 week of starting the process, you could already be in the gym training efficiently. And the system is based on going to the gym 1 to 3 times a week for 30 to 40 minutes. And if the person doesn't have time for that little bit of commitment towards their health, then we are having to go back to the mindset and say, okay, you know what? There's a saying that says, those who don't have time for physical exercise soon will have to make time for illness. And that's the truth,
Well, my grandmother said to me the other day, and in this past year, she's announced that she had breast cancer, which she didn't really have. And she announced that she had diabetes, which she doesn't really have. And she announced to me the other day that she had, I want to say cystic fibrosis, but I'm not saying the right one. Muscular dystrophy. And,
okay.
I thought I knew what it was, but I take time, I look it up, and I said, well, you probably don't have that. That happens to children, and, you're in your 80s. Now, what I really think she might have is muscular atrophy from not using her muscles. Okay. And here's the deal. I have a girlfriend that is 1 year younger than my grandmother. That woman, they're both blind. Okay. And so they have a lot in common that way. The one is active, the other one is not. Now, which one of them do you think is happy and the other one is not?
Well, the one that works out, that is active. Absolutely. I created a video. You can find it on my YouTube channel, Dr. Fitness USA. I have a playlist for women's health. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I got this little doodle video program where I can make little doodle videos, right? I always love creating stuff. So that's one of the things. So I made a little video with a doodle and compare the woman from the 30 on to all the way to age 70, what happens to the body every decade, and comparing the one that works out and the one that doesn't. Because you see, what happens is we start losing muscle mass as early as age 30.
Yes.
And we don't know it, okay? We don't know it until we're 40, 45. But at 40, 45, now we're 10, 15 pounds heavier. Now we start having backaches, or, all kinds of things start to happen. But it starts as early as age 30. So if you can start at age 30 and build and continue to build muscle mass, then you can even things out so you don't end up at a certain age being so messed up.
Because it's the muscles that support our body. And
yes,
that elderly woman that I'm telling you about, my favorite thing that she ever told me was exercise is free medicine.
Yes.
And I thought, oh my goodness, I'd much rather have that than prescription,
Absolutely. So one of the things that we do that is, and that's why I'm so excited about the program that we do offer versus any type of exercise, right? Because exercise is good. It's better to do exercise than not do exercise. But there's one thing that is specific to what we do, and I like to point it out because it's to me, I think it makes a big difference in the long run. It's not only about maintaining or rebuilding muscles and being active, but there's two factors that one needs to consider. And one is postural alignment.
Okay.
Because what happens is, and especially with our lifestyle now, we're on the computers, we're on the cell phones, we're on the desk. And even the younger generation now is prone to have bad posture much earlier than in the past. So what people don't realize is the effect of bad posture on the health. So what happens when you have bad posture, you start cutting the energy flows to the brain. Okay? So you create stagnation in the body, and so not only you cut the energy flow and the blood circulation to the brain and to the different parts of the body, which affects brain function, mood behavior. There's a lot of factors, but it can also result in disc herniation, backache, neck pain, arthritis, because where the energy and the blood is unable to flow, it creates stagnation. So a person might say, oh, I have this backache or whatever, and they might not realize that their posture is off. And if they could just really strengthen their body and rebuild their posture, then, you know, they would create more energy flow, and maybe the backache would also get better. So that's one thing. The other thing is to working out and rebuilding the body in balance. Okay? And we see this in the gym all the time. There's so many people that work out, and oh my goodness. You know, when Steven comes back from the gym, I should really make a portfolio of his comments coming back from the gym. Oh, and you should have seen this person, what they were doing, and you should have seen. Because a lot of people do whatever, and then all of a sudden you have you know, you build the body out of balance, you know? So you don't want that.
No, I know. I've seen the men with the big upper bodies, and then they've got the skinny legs. They don't know what to do with the legs. You know?
Exactly. So you definitely don't want that, right?
And I have a girlfriend that competes. She does, you know, Ms. America type things, and she's heavy, you know, but she's got the, you know, muscular kind of bulky thighs, and that I personally, you know, I admire the commitment, and I admire her in so many ways. It's just not a look that I personally find attractive, you know, and that's not what you're talking about at all.
No, not at all. I'm talking about building a proportionate feminine physique. Mm-hmm. And if it's a man, then a proportionate masculine physique. You know, we're not talking about big building bulk or anything like this. I mean, if that's what the person wants and they want to compete, and because Steven has worked with professional bodybuilders and they wanted to compete, and they get what they want, you know. Mm-hmm. But this is not really what we do. It's really about putting the body back into balance. You know,
balance is so important, and that's literally why I include health in the show, where we primarily talk about business. I feel like the areas where we lose balance when we're working on business is our health and our relationships. And that's why I bring it all into the show, because I think it's so important. You cannot neglect these things. You will pay a price. Exactly.
And I'm glad you said that, because, you know, we go to a lot of networking events, or we go to a lot of the events, you know, to help build your business, and, you know, whatever. We're always out there. Okay. And I look around and I see people, you know, that they're just sitting and so focused on their business, and their bodies is completely gone, you know. And then so many times we try to talk to them, and it's like, oh, I have no time. When I have more time, I'll take care of it. Or when my website is done, or next year, or, you know, and it's always like later, because you know, and I'm going to tell you that when you make that 30-40 minutes 2-3 times a week, you become so much more productive in business and in your life, because you feel better, you have more energy, you have less pain, and how much more can you do when you feel good in your body? You can do a lot more. And you know what? Tomorrow never comes.
Yes, that's absolutely true. I agree with you completely.
And you know, the other thing is this: people think tomorrow, but what is the damage that you're going to...
Yes.
And is it going to be reversible then? You know, I'm 58 now, okay? I have seen plenty of people and friends and people die by now from just from the 10 years. Mm-hmm. You know, they were busy, they were successful, they had this, they had that, you know, they were strong, they had that, I don't know what, but they didn't have time.
No, I'm just starting to see that. And even my Facebook friends, you know, one minute they're active on Facebook, and the next one of their relatives, I think I've had 3 of them this way, that, well, I lost one to cancer. And then I've lost 3 others that just all of a sudden somebody's announcing that they're gone. Yeah. And just had another one, longtime friend, and now she has breast cancer. And, you know, it's like we take years and years and years to build up these problems in our life, and then we want an overnight solution. But if we take time to invest in our bodies now and along the way, you know, I made one change many years ago, and it was 12 years ago, started drinking the Chanson alkaline ionized water. And it has made a huge difference for me. by just changing that water in balancing my health and supporting my health. And so exercise, I remember, okay, so I am a little more sedentary, and even though I believe in exercise, I don't do it as much as I should. But, I took time out, and I really, did some yoga, and this is probably a week ago. And I can absolutely put my finger to that was my best day in a long time. I was sick for about a week and a half right after that. But felt so great that day, had so much energy. I think I stayed up till 2 a.m. doing something because I had extra energy that I would not have had if I had not have done it.
It does work that way,
So now with your system, are you also doing cardio, or is it all about the weights?
Okay, so we focus on the weight. Okay, that's the system, that's the foundation. It's really the foundation of the body, reconstruct the body from the inside out, rebuild your strength, rebuild muscular imbalances. We have a way of manipulating the weight and working with the machine. So if you are stronger on one side, weaker on the other, then we can rebuild that. So that also is why we achieve the pain-free life. We always talk about the pain-free life. That's one of the components. And you know what? You don't need me to go do some aerobics. You can go walk on the beach. You can, I can't stand the treadmill. Okay, I can't stand the treadmill, so I don't do it. But I like walking on the beach. So 3 times a week, I take
same here.
Exactly. I laugh because we are in sunny California, right? We have the beach 5 minutes away, and people are stacked on the treadmill, looking at a wall.
I used to love to go watch the dolphins. You go down to Laguna Beach, and not only can you see dolphins, you can see whales. And depending on the time of year, I adore that. Yeah.
So, for me, so I do believe that we need to do some cardio. We need to have a balanced life. We need to do nutrition. We need to do a lot of things. But our specialty is that, that's what we do, that strength training. And we get the results that we promise, that we say we see, because for fit, Stephen have people all the way to the 80s that are still working on his program, and they've been doing it for 30 years, and they look better now than they did 30 years ago.
Wow.
Okay, so there's a long track record on the system. So that's what we do. And again, do you really need me to tell you to go walk on the beach or whatever? Just go walk on the beach, or that's not something that you need help with.
Okay, but it is something that you believe people need to have a portion of in their life. Okay, that's what I want.
Yes, I do. But there's one thing though that I want to add to this is because when you do the strength training in a certain way and the way we teach it, you also get some cardio with it. Okay? Because it does pump the heart, and so for the person that has no time, you see, we try to get them to at least do the best that they can do with the time they have. So if the person has only 30 minutes twice a week, then go do our program, because you do get some cardio with it. You get all these other benefits. Okay. Rather than just go take a walk on the beach and not do the strength training. You see, so when you have to choose because of the amount of time you have, then we always say, then go train. Because you get more benefits than if you just went for a walk.
Got it.
But ideally, in the ideal world, a person would go to the gym 3 times a week, and they would do some cardio 3 times a week, and they would have a good diet, and they, in the perfect case scenario. But like you said, unless you are a fitness competitor, or that's your goal to be in that realm of, then it's a huge dedication, and most people don't have that dedication, don't want it, and don't aspire for it, right? And it's not entirely necessary to be perfect and to do everything perfectly to get good results. But if you do something, then choose the something that you will have the most benefit from.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I need you to tell everybody how they can reach out to you if they're interested in your 1-year training program. And I know that you have a $250 discount for our listeners today. That is so fabulous.
Yes. I wanted to do something for you, listener, and thank you for having us on the show. And so it's very simple. The website is drfitnessusa.com. Okay, so it's doctor, the short version, drfitnessusa.com. And so you'll see courses and tabs or whatever. So for your listeners, if you come, from the listeners of the show.
Princess Power. Everybody tell her you heard about her on Princess Power.
Princess Power, and you will get the discount. So, you contact us, message us, because it's not a discount that's offered generally on the website. But for the listener of Princess Power, contact us, and we will be delighted to offer the discount for your tribe.
Well, thank you, Batista. We really appreciate your time today. And listeners, we thank you for taking the time to join us. And we ask that if you have found any benefit, that you share, you comment, you like us, you subscribe, all those wonderful things you do on the different social media. And we look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye, and God bless you.
Thanks so much for listening to the Princess Power Hour with Natalie Thomas. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit princesspower.com or on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter at @PPPrincessPower. Until next time, work smarter, not harder. Have a question for your host of Princess Power Hour, Natalie Thomas? Contact us at www.princesspower.com or tweet us at @PPPrincessPower.